This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media and the Rule Classroom, sponsors of the 2025 Rule Natural Resources Investment Symposium, July 7 through 11 in Boca Raton, Florida, via live stream from the comfort and convenience of your own home. A few things you need to know about the conference right now. Whether you attend live or live stream, we will be presenting more information, valuable, dense information, than you can absorb in the 4 days of the conference. To that end, two things. Whether you attend live or live stream, the full proceedings will be recorded, and you'll have the availability of that material for a year, and you're going to need it. The second thing is that before the conference, we interview every single exhibitor and every speaker so that you can learn more about the exhibitors before the conference and allocate your time at the conference much more efficiently. Finally, one more thing. Every public company exhibitor at the conference is owned in accounts owned and managed by the conference sponsors. That means every single exhibitor has been vetted. We turn down more exhibitors than we accept. This is your guarantee that every public company exhibitor has been vetted. And today you are going to witness this process. I have the good fortune to interview a man that I've invested with for a long time, who has become a friend, Mr. Benoit Salle, CEO and founder of Aya Gold and Silver. Benoit, welcome.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for inviting us this year again, and thank you for being a shareholder in Aya.
You've been a great performer for our people for a very long time. Let's get into Benoit LaSalle. Tell us how you came to do what you're doing. Tell us about the prior successes in mining and investment that allow you to build a company like Aya in such short order.
It's a long story, but yes, with great pleasure. I'm an accountant. I sat on a board of a charity for many years. I went to Africa in 1995 to help mothers and children for their well-being. And the president of Burkina Faso at the time asked me if I could help him develop the mining sector. And on the way back on the plane, I created SEMAFO, which means West Africa Mining Corporation. From one GO that I hired, myself, 4 friends for the first funding, we discovered, I always say, the Abitibi of Burkina Faso. We discovered the Houndé Belt, and today, which is a very large producer of gold. And SEMAFO went from no employees to thousands of employees, built 4 mines on time and on budget, and was sold to Endeavor in 2019, right before COVID, after a 23-year journey. And after this, the team was available, and Aya became an opportunity. We joined in. It had been created before us under Maya, and it had a beautiful portfolio of assets. And we brought the SEMAFO 2.0 team, people from Morocco, and we created Aya. So it's 30 years now of mining expertise. It's 5 mines built on time and on budget. It was 400,000 ounces of gold production at SEMAFO. Now it's 5 million ounces of silver in Aya and growing. So it's been a great journey. It's been a lot of fun. And yes, you've been a shareholder a long time, and we go back all these years. And look, Aya is very unique because it's run by people that have done it many, many times. We just completed another build on time and on budget, and we are now in the ramp-up process.
Let's talk briefly about Morocco, about the Atlas, about the Iberian Pyrite Belt. Let's talk about silver in Morocco.
Absolutely unique. The Atlas Fault, which starts in Agadir and runs for 1,600 kilometers, is very unique. It's still an active fault. That's where the earthquake was 2 years ago, but we had no damage. And on that fault, you have pure native silver mines. 2 of them, one owned by Aya, one owned by Managem. And those are pure native silver that run at thousands of grams per ton, and in some of those pockets. And on that fault, you also have pure gold mines, polymetallic mine, you have nickel, you have a lot of copper. Managem is building a beautiful copper mine right now, and it is untouched. 65% of the belt has yet to be seen or reviewed by a geologist. So we have first mover advantage. We are on the belt. We now have, I would say, 1,300 square kilometers of ground on that fault. And we are, as you know, spending about $40 to $45 million a year on exploration.
Tell us something about the existing producing assets. You aren't solely an explorer.
Absolutely. So when we arrived, there was, so I've learned something this year. I was there last week, and our first mine called Mazumdar was where the silver came from in the 10th century when they were melting coins for Morocco. And it came from our mine, which was discovered by the Romans 2,000 years ago. And so when we arrived, it was a small project. It was a few hundred ton a day, and we brought it up to 700 ton a day. And now with the new plant that was just built and commissioned in December of 2024, we're now running at 3,000 ton a day. So it's a beautiful new project that is producing this year the guidance between 5 and 5.3 million ounces of silver, but it's pure native silver, and it has a more than 10-year mine life, and we've only touched about 2% of our ground that we have around that mine. So very unique. The ingots that we produce are around 99.2, 99.3% pure that we ship to Europe. So it's a very unique geology. Metal is pure, and Morocco. I've built mines all over Africa. I even built one mine in China. We've worked in Quebec. It's, to me, the number one jurisdiction for mining is Morocco right now.
So we have grown from zero to between 5 and 5.3 million ounces in 2025. Where do we go from here? Development stage assets, acquisition. How do we do with Aya what you did with Semafo?
So very good question. So we do have a plan. We have a master plan, which is, as a good accountant, you need to have a master plan. Otherwise, you don't sleep well. So we have a master plan. This year, it's 5 to 5.3. Next year, it is 6. And we're going to be working on growing that because we have the capacity to grow this. But already in the pipeline is our second project, which we're working on right now. We're doing the PEA. We're going to go into feasibility next year. So by end of 2028, 2029, we'll be adding another 8 million ounces of silver production and gold production to that. So you will see Aya move from a 6 million ounce at Mazumdar to probably 14, 15 million ounces, including Boumadine, and a lot of gold production on top of that.
And these are from already identified assets. In other words,
developed, identified, drilling done, geological model done, block model done, mining plan in process on the second project, and done on the first project. Yeah.
Last year, effectively at this time at our conference, you announced the PEA on the second asset, which was highly exciting. And thank you for this. But you have a recent announcement. I think it came out yesterday about a financing. Tell us about that, and tell us how existing shareholders might benefit from this infusion of cash.
Well, that's right. So last year we announced the initial resource on Boumadine, which was 350 million ounces of silver after 2 years of drilling. In February of this year, we updated that to 450 million ounces of silver. And we're getting just more results. You see the press releases, the results are coming in. They're very good. So we've decided now to take this project and increase the drilling, which was anticipated to be around 100 to 140,000 meters, to maybe 180 this year and between 200 and 250 next year. Why? Because we want to fast track this into production. And that's what we're doing. So the money that we raised, which was 7% dilution, which we felt was acceptable to fast track a project like Boumadine, which is very unique in the fact that it is, if you look at it in gold equivalent, it's 450 million ounces of silver equivalent, at 450 grams per ton. Or if you want it in gold, you prefer gold, it's like over 5 million ounces of gold at 5 grams per ton. So it is a very robust project. We've touched, again, 2-3% of the structure. With the silver market and the gold market, We think that getting towards production sooner will be accretive, very, very accretive for our shareholders. So we decided to raise 7% dilution. We raised 144 million Canadian dollars, and it's 80% of it will be going to Boumadine, developing Boumadine over the next 2 years.
As I read the press release, it looks like a bought deal financing, which would suggest that you didn't have to work very hard or go very far to raise the money. If you could tell us something about the constituencies, who you added or who you refreshed.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. We had when we did that morning, we had like 3 or 4 bought deal letters from different bankers, and our big shareholders had expressed an interest in beefing up our balance sheet. They said, you have a beautiful production growth, fantastic growth in resource, but we'd like to give you more money so you can work a little bit faster. So we did I call it a club deal, because everybody that came in, we know, like they're friends. So it's our biggest shareholders now, bigger, and everybody else they were shareholders, and they just added to their position. We did not allow anyone who we knew was short, because we didn't want that. We know some people have played us down over the last 5-6 months. It's fine. It's part of being public, but we did not allocate to them.
Well, let's talk about the shorts. Benoit, it's suggested in certain circles that behind the scenes I was a promoter years ago. I won't confirm or deny that. But there was nothing I liked more than a good short position against me. I felt if I had the goods, that a short position was stock that was already sold. They had to buy it back. And the question was, what price would they buy it back? A fight between me and them. You told me before we went on air that you have 20 million shares short against you. It seems to me, we'll see, that if you repeat your performance at Semifo, that 20 million shares is in for a semi-religious experience trying to buy back. Perhaps you could talk about the short position relative to the way you trade and your ability to add value.
Absolutely, I'm with you. When we discuss that, I say this is it will be the largest buyer of the history of Aya. It's bigger than our number one shareholder. They thought we would do a financing, because they looked at the balance sheet. They said they'll need to raise money, but they did not know that we had 10 friends who were on the sideline with big checks saying, I'm coming in. And we took these 10 friends. They came in. The hedgies did not get any, and now they're looking at a new balance sheet with over 160 million of liquidity, 20 drills turning, 200,000 meters this year, probably 300 next year, and they're short. I think that they've wetted their pants when that came out yesterday.
And for the record, this new capital wasn't to sustain operating deficits. You already generate cash from your existing silver production. This is growth capital, not survival capital.
We made $8 million profit in Q1. We expect a better Q2 and a better Q3. I was looking at some of the numbers. In Q1, we sold silver at 31.80. That was the average. In April, we sold it at 33.50. In May, we sold it at 34. And now in June, we're selling it at 36. And the costs are trending down because we're in a ramp up. So the costs are trending down. But we did make 8 million in Q1. So Q2 will be better, and on and on and on. So you're right. This is not survival capital. This is drilling capital to our 2024 drill rigs that we're going to have next year. And it's just giving us results. And at the same time, we're fast tracking the development of Boumadine, as we're also pushing on the regional play of Zgounder. So we are a very large exploration company with a little ATM that will be generating next year, probably around $100 million US.
Benoit, for people who are watching this interview and coming to the conference, to the extent that they want to learn more about Aya, who in particular do they contact, and how do they reach this person?
So on all press release that we have, you have 2 names at the bottom. You have mine, and you have Alex Ball. Our emails are there. You write us a note. You give us your name and phone number. Either Alex or myself will call you back in the day. That's for sure. we call everybody back in within 24 hours. And I did last night till 9 o'clock, and I was calling back some shareholders. So we do this because we're here to serve. We have a great operating team. Today is over 1,000 employees, so we have great operating team. But Alex and I manage our shareholders, our name, our goodwill, and we're very quick at giving answers, and we give the real answer.
You heard it here, folks. Talk to the boss. Benoit, thank you for decades of effort on behalf of mining investors. Thank you personally for your ongoing support and sponsorship of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Thank you, Rick. It's always a pleasure, and we'll be there in July in Boca Raton. Though it's a little warm, but we'll be, for us Montrealers, but we'll be there.